I'm Gillian Simpson. I'm a director in Deloitte Digital. I work in our retail industry practice and I focus on customer experience. Retail are facing three big challenges at the moment. The first one being channel shift. So customers are obviously not able to go into stores. A lot of stores are closed at the moment. And according to our recent consumer sentiment survey, only a third of the 13,000 customers that we surveyed felt comfortable actually going inside a store. And so we found that a lot of customers have shifted their purchasing online. So there's been a massive channel shift to that. We found that online purchases have increased from 20 to 30% of all sales in the last 2 months, which has been a really significant shift retailers are finding. We're finding as well that consumer confidence is low, and this is impacting retailers. And people aren't spending as frivolously as they might have been in the past and are reducing any discretionary spend. And retail sales fell by over 19% in April, year on year, which is the fastest pace on record that retail sales have fallen. And the final challenge that retailers are facing is the cost of actually running retail is increasing, and the cost of sale, with retailers having to spend more on personal protection equipment for their employees, and also the restrictions on the number of people that they are able to have in store limits the amount of transactions that they can process, and also limits in the bandwidth in the supply chain for both physical and online sales. So there's been a lot changed for experience and marketing leaders in the retail sector since the pandemic started, primarily in the relationship that they have with their customers and the need to keep engaged with these customers but without pushing their products. It's been very important for retailers to be reading how their customers are feeling and making sure that their communications are much more purpose-driven and focused on keeping customers feeling safe. So their normal calls to action have been changing. And so instead of driving people in store, that's not appropriate anymore. And so it's making sure that customers still feel safe and engaged with the brand. And customers' experience is obviously much more online now, and retailers needed to make sure that their digital platforms can stand up to this increased demand, and also needing to work out how they can offer the in-store physical human experience that they would have done online. And we've been seeing a lot of interesting examples of this from department stores and beauty retailers who have been offering in-store demonstrations through online and digital platforms. So we're seeing that there are quite a lot of new customer behaviours and needs that have been emerging since the pandemic started, and we expect to see a lot of those to continue in the near term. So a lot of new customers are shopping online who have never done before, predominantly in older demographics. So that's been one significant change that we've seen. We've also found that customers have gone back to shopping much less frequently than they have been in recent years, but with much higher average order values. So going back to a behaviour from 10 years ago. Consumers are also shopping much more locally and purposefully. And we're finding that in our consumer surveys that 41% of consumers are planning to reward retailers who are seen to be doing the right thing by their customers and employees. And we see that as a trend that's going to continue after the pandemic. Retail employees are starting to be seen as much more key workers who are essential in keeping society going. And we're finding that customer behaviour is changing so radically and quickly that it's really important for retailers to keep up to date with what their customers are wanting and asking for, and making sure that they feed that insight back through into their business. So there are three things that experience and marketing leaders in retail can do to help navigate their business through the current pandemic and to meet these new customer needs going forward. The first one being to keep up with the new consumer, to really understand where they're spending their days and the channels that they're using, and using social listening platforms, for example, and getting insight from their customer functions to really send this insight back through their whole business. The second way is to bring in-store experiences online, such as live video shopping. And we've seen retailers responding to the pandemic with amazing agility and speed at bringing these new features to market. And it will be essential that they continue to deploy and test at this speed going forward. And they could be using this then to scale up their digital platforms and exploring new business models. So we've seen some really nice examples of this with new partnerships between grocers and delivery partners. So in terms of what's next, consumers are changing their behaviours at a rate that we've never seen before, and retailers will need to continue to find new ways to be able to serve these customers. And the part that digital platforms play in these relationships between retailers and their consumers will continue to increase in importance. And so retailers need to continue to invest in these digital channels. Thanks for watching. If you'd like to chat through any of the points that I've made, please do get in touch.